You're listening to the all-new Saber Chats, the official podcast of the Saber Guild's Outer Rim Temple.
There is a great disturbance.
Have you felt it?
A not-for-profit Star Wars costume and lightsaber performance club that puts on choreographed lightsaber shows for charity. Serving the Inland Empire of Southern California.
If once you start down the dark path, forever, when it dominates your destiny, consume you it will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice.
Hello everyone, the Brutal One here once again at Saber Guild Outer Rim Temple. Saber Guild's Outer Rim Temple serves Southern California, specifically the Inland Empire, that of course being San Bernardino and Riverside counties, and this podcast is the official podcast thereof. And I'm here once again with one of Saber Guild Outer Rim Temple's members, and I'm very happy because he is a Sith. And we Sith like to work with each other from time to time when we're not trying to stab each other in the back and succeed and usurp and all that stuff. So your name is Keo, I do believe, and what is your character's name, and how did he get his name and his character story and all that jazz?
Hi, yes, like so my name's, or as you introduced me, I'm Keo. My character's name is Darth Thanos. I actually created that name from the Norse mythology god Thanos. Give a little spin, now you get Thanos. Anyways, my character's story begins as a Jedi Knight.
Oh, gee, you had to go and ruin everything, didn't you?
Patience.
Well, Palpatine did tell Vader to have patience, so all right, fine. All right, I costume as Palpatine, so I guess maybe I should know a little patience.
Exactly.
Thanks.
As I was saying, my character's origin was light, as some scum is, but I found my true calling. On a mission, I was ambushed along with my brother and Jedi Knight, my previous master actually. Left for dead after being knocked off a cliff. I found myself disoriented and groggy, but I was filled with so much rage, I found myself destroying the very people that brought me back to life.
How did you get knocked off the cliff? I'm just curious.
A rocket fire.
Rocket fire knocked you off the cliff. Okay.
Not very pleasant.
No, I would imagine not. And so you were left for dead, and when you woke up, you were so filled with so much rage that your fellow Jedi would leave you for dead. And then what happened after that?
After destroying the villagers that saved me, I found myself disturbed. I don't know whether to return to the Order or exile myself.
Well, you killed the villagers that saved you, so at this point, you may not be a Sith yet, but you've already crossed over to the dark side now, I would assume. You're a killer. You wanted revenge against the people that left you for dead, and you killed the people that saved you?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely on the dark side now.
Well, after I had done what I had done, I did end up exiling myself, but I could not deal with what I had done, and I developed a second personality. That personality named itself Darth Thanos.
So you're sort of like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of Sith there, and you're Mr. Hyde's kind of Sith, your bad side. That's Darth Thanos. So who am I talking to here? The good guy or the bad guy?
I am Darth Thanos.
I see. Okay, and what about the other guy?
He gave up control over to me. To this day, he still cannot handle what he had done. But to me, it was a simple matter.
So of the two guys that I'm talking to, Darth Thanos took over. So even though there's a second personality, Thanos conquered the other guy. He doesn't rear his ugly head. I'm sorry, a nice-looking head. Not that I'm brown-nosing any. No, my eyes are orange. I'll leave it at that. My nose doesn't change colors. But I mean, the nice guy inside you, he doesn't rear his head any time at all.
That's correct.
Okay, well, that's good, I suppose, for the listeners to know. They'll watch out whenever they're around you, I guess. So, is that the end of the story, then? Or are you still looking for a revenge against those that left you for dead? Or is that your mission in life now? Or what's the coup de grace here of the story there?
I became an assassin, and once a Sith master found me, took me under his wing. He didn't last very long. I'll leave it to your imagination. But through my own research, his teaching, I became more powerful and found my way to the dark path.
I see. So you got your revenge, became more powerful, and now you're clashing sabers with everyone else in Saber Guild, and you hope to conquer the galaxy. Something like that, right?
I'll keep that to myself.
He's going to keep that to himself, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, well, you know what? That was actually a pretty cool story. And I challenge you, since I do HoloNet Audio Dramas, another podcast of mine, maybe write that story down, and I might narrate it and set it to music. You never know. I kind of like that. It's a very nice story.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Saber Piece Theater, The Carbon Freezing Chamber, with Goofy as Darth Vader, Mickey Mouse as Luke Skywalker, Minnie Mouse as Leia, Pooh Bear as Lando, and a very special guest as Admiral Piet. Luke rises into the chamber, borne by the platform. The room is deathly quiet. Very little steam escapes the pipes, and no one else seems to be in the large room. Warily, Luke walks around the stairway. Steam begins to build up in the chamber. Looking up through the steam, Luke sees a dark figure standing on a walkway above him. Luke holsters his gun and moves up the stairs to face Darth Vader. He feels confident, eager to engage his enemy. The Force is with you, young Skywalker! But you are not a Jedi yet. Luke and Vader are locked in combat on the platform overlooking the chamber. Their swords clash, the platform sways. Luke aggressively drives Vader back, forcing Vader to use defensive tactics. You have learned much, young one.
You'll find I'm full of surprises.
Your destiny lies with me, Skywalker. Obi-Wan knew this to be true.
No!
Behind Luke, the hydraulic elevator cover has opened noiselessly. All the while, Luke slowly, cautiously, moves back, away from the Dark Lord. Suddenly, Vader attacks so forcefully that Luke loses his balance and falls back into the opening. There is a rumble, and an instant freezing steam rises to obscure Vader's vision. Vader turns aside and deactivates his sword. All too easy! Perhaps you are not as strong as the Emperor thought! Through the steam behind Vader, something blurs upward. Liquid metal begins to pour into the pit. Vader turns around and then looks up. He sees Luke, who has leapt 15 feet straight up and now hangs from some hoses on the carbonite outlet. Impressive! Most impressive! Luke jumps down to the platform where he is separated from Vader by the steaming carbonite pit. He raises his hand, his sword, which had fallen on another part of the platform, swiftly jumps into his outstretched hand and is instantly ignited. Vader immediately lights his sword as well. Obi-Wan has taught you well! You have control of your fear. Now, release your anger! Only your hatred can destroy me! Vader retreats before Luke's skillful sword. Vader blocks the sword, but loses his balance and falls into the outer rim of pipes. The energy Luke has used to stop Vader has brought him to the point of collapse. Luke moves to the edge and looks down, but sees no sign of Vader. He then deactivates his sword, hooks it on his belt, and lowers himself into the pit. Moving through a tunnel-like entrance, Luke cautiously approaches the reactor room. He ignites his sword and moves into the room and toward a large window as Vader enters. Luke raises his sword and moves forward to attack. Behind Luke, a large piece of machinery detaches itself from the wall and comes smashing forward toward his back. Luke turns and cuts it in half just as another machine comes hurtling at him. Using the Force, Luke manages to deflect it and send it flying as if it had hit an invisible shield. A large pipe detaches and comes flying at Luke. He deflects it. Sparking wires pull out of the wall and begin to whip at the youth. Small tools and equipment come flying at him. Bombardment from all sides. Luke does his best to deflect everything, but soon he is bloodied and bruised. Finally, one machine glances off his and goes flying out the large window. A fierce wind blows into the room. Unmoving stands the dark, rock-like figure of Vader. A piece of machinery hits Luke, and he is knocked out of the window. You are beaten. It is useless to resist. Don't let yourself be destroyed as Obi-Wan did. Luke and Vader fight. The black armor sparks and smokes, and Vader seems to be hurt, but immediately recovers. Luke backs off along the narrow end of the gantry as Vader comes at him, slashing at the young Jedi with his sword. Luke makes a quick move around the instrument complex attached to the end of the gantry. Vader's sword comes slashing down, cutting the complex loose. It begins to fall, then is caught by the rising wind and blown apart. Luke glances at the instrument complex floating away. At that instant, Vader's sword comes down across Luke's right forearm, cutting off his hand and setting his sword flying.
Ah!
In great pain, Luke squeezes his forearm under his left armpit and moves back along the gantry to its extreme end. Vader follows. The wind subsides. Luke holds on. There is nowhere else to go. There is no escape. Don't make me destroy you. You do not yet realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
I'll never join you.
If you only knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
Well, he told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Nope, I'm your daddy.
No, that's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings, Luke. You know it to be true. Who's your daddy?
No, it's not true.
Luke, you can destroy the Emperor. He has foreseen this. It is your destiny. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Come with me. It's the only way. Vader puts away his sword and holds his hand out to Luke. A calm comes over Luke, and he makes a decision. In the next instant, he steps off the gantry platform into space. The Dark Lord looks over the platform and sees Luke falling far below. The wind begins to blow at Vader's cape, and the torrent finally forces him back, away from the edge. The wind soon fades, and the wounded Jedi begins to drop fast, unable to grab onto anything to break his fall. Suddenly, Luke is sucked into an exhaust pipe in the side of the shaft. When Vader sees this, he turns and hurries off the platform. Luke tumbles through the exhaust pipe. He slides to the end of the slickly polished pipe and stops as his feet hit a circular grill and knock it open. Luke claws at the surface of the pipe, trying to keep from sliding out into space. Unable to hang onto the pipe, Luke tumbles out, emerging at the undermost part of Cloud City. Reaching out desperately, he manages to grab onto an electronic weather vane.
Ben, please.
Luke tries to pull himself up on the weather vane, but slips back down. He hooks one of his legs around the fragile instruments. All the while, a powerful current of air rushes out at him from the exhaust pipe.
Ben! Well...
There is an ominous cracking sound from the base of the weather vane, and a piece breaks off, falling into the clouds far below.
Hear me, Leia.
Leia seems to be lost in a fog, her expression troubled. Chewie is busy operating the ship. Lando stands next to the Wookiee, watching a readout on the control panel.
Luke. We've got to go back.
What?
I know where Luke is.
But what about those fighters?
Chewie, just do it.
But what about Vader? All right. The Falcon makes a graceful banking turn back toward Cloud City. Look! Someone's up there!
Look, it's Luke. Chewie, slow down. Slow down, we'll get under him. Lando, open the top hatch.
Lando rushes out of the cockpit. Out of the cockpit window, Leia sees Luke falling from the bottom of Cloud City. The ship gains on him.
Okay, easy, Chewie.
The Falcon closes in on Luke. 3 TIE fighters race toward the Falcon, firing away.
Lando?
Okay, let's go!
The Falcon races away. It is closely followed by 3 TIE fighters, all of which keep up a heavy laser assault on the fleeing starship. Explosions erupt all around the cockpit, buffeting the ship wildly. Chewie howls as he frantically tries to control the ship. Leia and Chewie turn to see Luke, bloodied and battered. He enters the cockpit, supported by Lando. Leia jumps up and hugs him, while Chewie barks in joyous relief.
No. Oh, Leia.
All right, Chewie, let's get out of here. Leia helps Luke from the cockpit as another huge blast rocks the ship.
I'll be back. A Star Destroyer.
All right, Chewie, there's a Star Destroyer over there, ready for light speed.
Well, if your people fix the hyperdrive.
Another explosion rocks the ship. Leia notices as a green light on the panel next to her flashes on.
Well, all the coordinates are set. It's now or never.
Punch it! They told me they fixed it! I trusted them to fix it! It's not my fault! I need a pot of honey. In the distance, the TIE fighters continue their chase, still shooting lasers. Vader's Star Destroyer moves behind them, determinedly following the Falcon. Vader stands on the bridge, looking out the window as Admiral Piet approaches him. They'll be in range of our tractor beam in moments, my lord. Did your men deactivate the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon? Yes, my lord. Good! Prepare the boarding party and set your weapons for stun! Yes, my lord. Oh my. Luke!
Father!
Son, come with me.
Ben, why didn't you tell me? Oh!
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Saber Peace Theater.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Star Wars and all things in the Star Wars universe are the intellectual property of Lucasfilm Limited. All rights reserved. Saber Guild and Saber Chats are not sponsored or endorsed by Lucasfilm.
Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny, consume you at will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice.
Saber Guild is a fan-operated organization used under authorization. All original content on this podcast, unless otherwise indicated, belongs to Saber Chats.
It is too late for me.